Om Sri Sai Ram. Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha Pahi Mam. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha Rakshamam. Sri Ganesha Pahi Mam, Jaya Ganesha Rakshamam. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha Rakshamam. Om Sri Sai Ram. As mentioned earlier, this God could play any role. Even now he is playing. He loves to play. He once gave me a poem. With me there is no denial nor any delay. Everything is just my divine play. He loves to play because he is eternal child, innocent, yet enlightened. One moment he will make you feel that he entirely belongs to you. Next moment he will withdraw himself so completely that you will feel that I don't exist for him. And both the roles he plays to the perfection. Even with his students, I mentioned in one of the talks how during early 80s he stopped talking to them for many days. They were crying, praying, they went on fast, everything they did. And in that meeting where I was blessed to be present, when Swami started getting up from his chair in the hostel, these boys just dragged themselves spontaneously in one go and garrowed him and wept like young widows. And then next moment, this God was showering infinite love on them. The similar situation happened in, I believe, 91 or 92, when Dr. Sampath was the Vice Chancellor. For nearly 28 days, first few weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, Swami would not even speak one word with them, would not look at them. He will come out, go to the ladies' side, go to the gents' side, take people for interview and simply walk in his interview room, and after the interview room, he will not come out. He will come only for bhajans, sit for bhajans in a very serious mood, and again after Mangala Arati, he will go and retire. Few days it was okay, but after a few days, nobody could take it. Not even the VIPs, not even the Vice Chancellor, the warden, not even the primary, no one. And this drama was not seen by the hospital, super hospital, because by that time super hospital had come. Even they had not witnessed such drama before. Then they would say, please Swami, please Swami, please Swami. He'll say, yes. What is it that you want from me? Tell me. Swami, you talk to us, I'm talking to you. But he will talk as if he is a stranger. like a formal talk. Swami, come to the hostel. Whenever I find, I will come. Now, who can beat this God in acting? It went on for 28 days. Of course, I was never part of the gathering in the portico. I'm always an ordinary devotee sitting with the crowd. But I used to think in my mind, why Swami is unhappy? Because I had witnessed that scene in 80s. So I was feeling these boys are angels, they have pure love and devotion. Why Swami is angry with them? That time I had not experienced his fire of 3 zeros upon myself. So I had no clue why God could do like that. Those days we were allowed to carry pen and writing pad. And I used to carry every day one book and one pad and one writing pad. Anytime I would write whatever I find very interesting and very enlightening in the book, I will note it down, because we had to wait for hours till Swami comes out. So that was our waiting therapy. One day it so happened that I was sitting with my writing pad and book. With this thought, I just wanted to write one small letter to Swami. Swami, please bless the boys. Because Swami had mentioned one in his discourse, when you pray for others, that prayer reaches God directly. If you pray for money or wealth, it goes to Lakshmi Devi. If you pray for education, it goes to Saraswati. But when you pray for others, it directly goes to God. So with this thought, I said, let me pray on behalf of the boys. Because right from beginning, I've been sitting with boys in bhajans. When there was no university even, I used to sit with them in Purnachandra, in Trai, in Kodai. Even during bhajans in 70s, I used to be in the first row. Those times, the Veda boys, singers. So I knew they are all angels. I had no doubt in my mind on that. So I started writing a small letter. But you will not believe, my dear brothers and sisters, when I started writing, I don't know, later on, of course, he told me that I will write through you, speak through you, work through you. But that was in 2003, when he commanded me to bring governance of God in this country. He gave me this assurance. But I had never experienced this before, that Swami can write through me. And he started writing poem. Nearly 28 stanzas, 28 days and 28 stanzas. One by one in poetic. And that poem was of the highest level. Means, this is one thing I found with this God. When he gives, when he blesses so completely, so abundantly, so gracefully. The recipient cannot claim any role play in that. Even if I want to claim that I wrote that poem, my mind will not accept it. Impossible, humanly not possible. That is how divinity works. He gives you so much which you can't, you will say, I don't deserve it. And you will know in your heart, this is not by me. Others may think, but you will know in your heart, this is not from me. Impossible. 28 pages poem. And the poem of that level. Dialogue between Swami and students. And the title of the poem he gave was, Please Swami, Please. when the, and one more thing, as it started, so it ended. After writing these 28 stanzas, suddenly it stopped. I could not even write one extra word on that. Now I could not give such a big, because I wrote in my writing pad. I could not give it to Swami, the entire pad. I knew this is not done. And I was not sure what is this going on. So in the evening, I went to the village. Those days there was no computers and all. I got it typed from a village typewriter, made 2-3 copies of it. And because I was serving in the textiles, so I was very pretty known to all the VIPs and foreigners. Everybody had to come to me for white dress or scarf. So I went to the room of Dr. Sampath, and when in 92 I was doing Swami's Padaseva, Dr. Sampath was always sitting there, and he had observed me and he knew me, always used to be very loving to me. So I went to his room in the evening and I told him, sir, this is what has happened. I have never written poem in my life and this poem has come to me. He said, okay, you read it. Let me see. I said, sir, I pray that you please confirm with Swami if it is coming from him or my mind is going out of mind. So he said, okay, you read few sentences. I said, no, sir, this is huge. So I handed over the poem to him and he went through the entire thing. He said, Harish, this is exactly what Swami has been telling us inside the interview room and outside in the portico. How did you know? I said, sir, I have no idea. I sit with the crowd. I'm an ordinary devotee. But this is what has happened. He said, okay, fine. You give this file. I had taken this in proper file. And every morning Swami calls me for official work. I will carry the file. If he asks himself, then alone I can give him. And if permitted and prompted, I will ask him. Because I believe this is from Swami. I said, okay, sir. So next day I saw him going inside the interview room. Those days Swami used to give interview to all vice chancellor and directors of hospital every day morning, like official, taking report from them. So morning, of course, he went directly for his job in the university. Evening, I saw him and I followed him to his room. The first thing he asked, so Mr. Harish, why you gave me only one poem? Where is the second poem? I said, sir, what second poem, sir? This is my first poem. One poem I had modified. I had read in some magazine, and out of my love for Swami, I had modified that poem as if it is directed to my Lord, my beloved, in 1975 or 1976, and which was published in Sanatana Sarthi in my name. The title of the poem was, There is Something in You. I had made modifications at that point in time with my little knowledge, and Swami accepted that poem, and Kasturiji got permission from Swami to publish it in Sanatana Sarthi. It is there. But I have never written poem of my own, never. And this is my only poem. He said, you know what happened? Today morning, after the official talk, Swami saw the file in my hand. He said, what is this? So I handed over file to him, and before I could even utter a word, he put the file on his lap. He just went through like this, again put it on his lap. He said, I said, Swami, this is the boy from Mumbai, Harish. I know. I am giving him poems. But ask him, where is the second poem? I could not give any reply because you never told me about anything about second poem. Now you do one thing. I forgot to mention one very important aspect to this. When I first gave him the poem in the first instance, it was that book in which I had written that poem. He asked me to get it typed and give it to him, the file, because my writing was like running handwriting. That very night, Swami appears in my dream and he tells me, I don't like your typing work. You make it in beautiful, colorful manner. So I had to request Mr. Vacha, who was in charge of the stationaries in our stores, to get me the sketch pens of different colors. He went to the godown, he gave me all the sketch pens available with different colors, and I took 7 days to write the very same poem in different colors, one sentence after another. I still have preserved that copy with me. It is with me. That file is still with me because that was kept on his lap by Swami. So when next time, after 1 week, I went to Dr. Sampath. He said, "No, you did not come that day." Now I said, "Sir, this is what happened." So I took 7 days to come because Swami told me to write in different colors. He didn't want me to get it typed. Then he said, "Yes, now I truly believe that Swami is giving you poems because Swami doesn't like personal letters to be typed and given. Official letters, of course, we gave him in typing." So this was now confirmed and doubly confirmed that Swami was giving me poems. Now from where to get the second poem? Next day onwards, till the time of we were allowed to carry pen inside for darshan, because then many changes happened after 93, the Kulwant Hall, then security issues. So after 94, 95, we are not allowed to carry pen inside the darshan. Till that time, whether in Puttaparthi, Whitefield or Kodai, the moment I take my pen and my paper, Swami would write a poem, sometimes 1 page, sometimes 2, 3, sometimes 10, sometimes 20. He would start and he would stop. I would copy that poem till Swami comes, make a duplicate copy, a rough copy, hand over the original copy to Swami with my hands, and Swami would take that poem always, without any exception, by touching my hand. This I noticed. And I used to love it because that was a golden additional opportunity to get his touch. But after 6th June 93 incident, it was announced that nobody can touch Swami without his permission. Nobody can take his Pad Namaskar. All these things were announced. So now I thought what to do. Because I got used to his touch so much. I'm like his spoiled child. He has given me so much, pampered me so much with his love. I always ask for more. Ye dil mange more. I always ask for more. I said, "Swami, now we cannot touch you. So you will take my poems without touching." Then a thought came, without touching. I said, "Swami, we cannot touch you. But who can stop you? You can touch me." Believe me, every single poem, nearly 1000 plus poems in these 4 years, morning and evening, wherever I am sitting, maybe in 5th row, 6th row, even if he had to stretch his hand, he would take my poem by touching me and pressing my hand, with no exception. Once even Sri Gopal Rao Garu, one of the noblest, oldest devotee of Swami, he asked me in Whitefield, Harish, do you have any serious problems? You are giving letter to Swami every day, morning and evening, and he is taking it. Swami would not take letters from anybody like that unless that person is suffering from acute problems or diseases. I said, no, sir, I don't have any problem, any disease, and I'm not writing a word about anything. I need not. He knows. He gives me poems and I give him poems. One copy with him and one copy with me. Wow, he became so happy, and then I touched his feet to take his blessings. And in Kodaikanal, I had written one poem on Swami's divine body, divine form, right from his hair till his lotus feet. He gave the poem. So the first copy I gave it to Swami in Kodaikanal. And while I was doing his Padaseva, before he started the discourse, he took my letter, that poem, and started reading it. After reading every stanza, every sentence, he would look at me and smile. And when he finished reading, Colonel Jogara, who was sitting on the VIP side, he found Swami to be in exceptionally joyful and happy, smiling mood. So in Telugu, he asked Swami, why is Swami smiling? Nothing. One child has given this poem to me. It is so beautiful. I was doing his Padaseva. That is divinity. Jai Sai Ram.